Hello, healthy mommies. Good evening. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you're doing okay. Hope your day has been going well. Welcome to Inyango. If you don't know me, if you've not seen my face before, I'm Larissa Libella. Um, I hope you ladies can hear me. Um, yeah. So today or this month, we are going to be talking about pregnancy. Like, we are going to try to cover everything pregnancy or as much as we can within this month on our videos. So please, if you're around and you can hear me, please indicate so I know you're getting me and we can continue. Okay, if you're around, please let me know if you can hear me. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Today you're going to be hearing a lot of crazy noises. There's some construction work going on around our house, and the babies are inside still napping, so I can't do this inside, and just have to bear, because if I wake the babies up then I have to be with them, but at least we can manage with this noise. I'm so sorry about it. Hello, Lady Emefwet, thank you for joining. Okay, thank God you can hear me so well. So today we are going to be talking about pregnancy, and I'm going to make this really fast as possible so that we can get on with the things we are doing. And at the end of this live session, I'm going to be announcing the winners for our quiz for this week, our 9th edition quiz. There are some wonderful prizes to be won. The first prize is something I'm using for my face, and I realized it works really well. That is why when our sponsor said she's sponsoring with something, I decided to get the things from where I get my skincare products. So they are wonderful for your skin. Whoever wins them, you're so lucky. So I'm going to go on. Today we're talking about 10 very common pregnancy questions. While I was writing these questions down, I thought of 5 more. So today is going to be so juicy. There is so much information to learn. There are so many things to learn. So thank you so much, Lady Jackie. Thank you so much. I'm just going to go on and welcome everybody who is here with me, and then we go on to the topic of the day. Please, if you're here, try to share the video so your friends as well can join us, because these are pregnancy questions which we've probably asked, and maybe we've not gotten an answer, or maybe we've gotten an answer. But today I bring you all the answers. So welcome, Lady Emefwe Tazisong. Welcome, Lady Bod Lawson. Welcome, Lady Jackie Nanga. Thank you so much, Lady Jackie. She says you're looking so fine. Your hair is fire. Thank you. Thank you. Lady Efosi Bod Lawson says you're looking good as usual. Thank you so much. Please, if you're around, drop your comments so I can acknowledge your presence before we start with our topic for today. If you're around, please acknowledge your presence by sending a comment, and please don't forget to share the video. Thank you so much for doing that, because as we keep sharing, other mothers keep learning and we keep impacting the world. Yeah, and helping us build the next healthy generation while raising healthy, wealthy, and exemplary moms. So while we're waiting for the others to... Thank you so much, Lady Tazi Song. Thank you. Thank you so much. While waiting for the others to join us or to indicate with their comments, I'm going to just dive into the questions. For question number 1, and please, as I drop the questions, leave what you think about them, leave what you've heard about them, just leave a comment, like say something about the question so that we get your own point of view, because here we are discussing. I'm not just talking to myself. So let's keep this interactive and let's just discuss and have a sweet chat. Okay, for question number 1, what are some early pregnancy symptoms? Okay, if you've been pregnant before, drop your symptoms in the comment section. Let's hear from you. But I'm going to be stating a few of them. If you've been pregnant before, please don't forget, drop your symptoms. Drop them right now so that we can all learn. So some common pregnancy symptoms are nausea, vomiting. Yeah, for someone like me, I vomited until like 8 months. I was vomiting every day. So that's a very good early pregnancy symptom. And like we see in Nigerian movies, especially a mother will usually know that her child is pregnant when you start vomiting, or the first indication that they give in those movies is that the person first starts vomiting, which is true. So vomiting, nausea. Thank you so much for leaving your comments. Yeah, I can see in the comments, Lady Fossibo Lawson says vomiting, morning sickness. Lady Jackie says vomiting, mood swings. Lady Fossi says spitting. That's so true. It's the nausea which leads to you spitting. So some other things are tender breast. Nobody has mentioned that. Tender breast, cramping, maybe you getting very dizzy, or you losing sleep, like you not feeling as to sleep. Bloating is another thing which indicates pregnancy. Yeah, Lady Lady Tadisong has just listed a lot of them. Thank you so much. She says constant nausea feelings, cramps on the lower abdomen. That is very true because implantation leads to those cramps. Swollen and hot through breast. Yes, that's tender breast. Mood swings. That's very true. So those are all true. Heartburns, as I said before. But one thing is, which is very, very important, which is the main indicator of pregnancy, is you missing your period. That's one of the main things. Like, until you miss your period, you can't be very sure that you are pregnant. Though there are people who will see slight blood, because implantation also causes that, but most times what usually happens, or the main thing that shows that you're pregnant, is when you miss your period. Lady Jackie says excess acne. That's true. Some people just get so ugly during pregnancy, like you're like, what's happening to me, what's going on with me? That's very true. Yeah. And Lady Tazi Song says dizziness too. That's true. Okay, those are some early symptoms of pregnancy, which if you see them, you should know that a little human being is growing inside your tummy, which is a good thing sometimes and a bad thing sometimes if you're not ready for it. Okay. Question number 2. What activities are dangerous during pregnancy? Now, this is a little bit tricky because it just depends on who you are as a human being, or as a person, or as a woman that you are. But I'm going to go on with some. If you know some, don't forget to drop them. I'm not talking to myself. We are talking here on sharing ideas. So some activities which are dangerous during pregnancy are any traumatic activity like stress. I talked about ways in which stress can affect pregnancy. If you've not seen that video, just go through our videos and you're going to see that video. Things that stress can cause your pregnancy, why stress isn't good for your pregnancy. So stress is one factor, but there is some kind of stress that will affect your pregnancy. Because normally everyday life is stressing. You have to get up, you have to do things. On some days you won't feel like it, but you have to do certain things. So normal everyday life stress cannot be dangerous to your pregnancy. But anything which puts you under a lot of stress will affect your pregnancy, which is why you should check that video, the video I dropped on effects of stress on pregnancy and how to avoid stress during pregnancy. Okay, another thing which can affect that are dangerous for your pregnancy is excessive exercising. So in as much as you can exercise during pregnancy, but exercising excessively, doing too much exercise is not good for your pregnancy. So another thing is hot baths. You know, most of us women like taking care of our bodies, and at times we go to do hammam and all those things. And at times they put you in this hot bubble bath just to get your skin prepared for all the cleaning that is about to be done. That is not so good for you as a pregnant woman. It can actually lead to miscarriage, and it's not healthy for your child. Another thing which is not healthy is radiation. So most times if they have to do someone a scan, like for example, when my daughter was sick, they had to do her a full body scan at a certain point. So the first question they asked me was, are you pregnant? And I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. And then the person insisted, like, when did you see your period? I said, I'm not pregnant. You know, in that kind of situation where you're already so stressed and then they are pushing it and you're telling them you're not pregnant and they keep on asking you, this is because it is very important for you to stay away from radiation. Like if you have to do maybe an X-ray or something like that, it has to be in a case where it is extremely important for you to do it. Radiation is something you should stay away from if you're pregnant. Also, smoking, alcohol are all dangerous during pregnancy. And also chemicals, you've been exposed to certain chemicals. Maybe if you're working in a factory making maybe plastic things and all that, it can be dangerous to your pregnancy. And a certain amount of dust and dirt, you inhaling a certain amount of dust and dirt, is also not healthy for your pregnancy. So that was it with question 2. On to question 3. What foods or drinks should I avoid when I'm pregnant? This is a big one. We mostly worry about this particular one a lot. But I'd like to tell us that most times, the main thing which you should avoid during pregnancy is raw meat, fish, anything raw, like any product which is raw, apart from well-washed fruits and vegetables. You shouldn't eat any other thing raw. You should always try to cook your things very well. And this is why it is mostly advised that when you're pregnant, don't eat red meat outside. It's not advisable because there is this particular bacterial, the name is Listeria, which is found in meat, that is beef, which is not good for your pregnancy. It can cause preterm delivery and all. So you should try as much as possible to cook your meat, your food very well before consuming them. So one thing which you should not take or you should avoid during pregnancy is raw meat, fish, and all those things. Also, for drinks, you should avoid coffee or not take so much coffee. It's usually said that a pregnant woman can take just a cup of coffee, which is 250 mils worth of coffee, or caffeinated drinks. You shouldn't take anything more than that, as it is not good for you or your baby. Yeah, that's it about foods and drinks which you cannot take during pregnancy, which you're supposed to avoid during pregnancy. Now, on to question 4. Question 4 is, how much weight can you expect to gain during pregnancy? This is a question which most women ask, and most of us are afraid of it because we feel that when we get pregnant, we're just going to be like, boom, and everything gets big. But this is usually not true. If you get pregnant where your BMI, I think I posted something on BMI on our page. If you don't know about your BMI, for moms on the Nyango WhatsApp group, I've given them an opportunity to send their weight and their height and their age, and I check their BMI and send to them so that you can understand, because BMI range determines how much fat is in your body and if you're healthy or not. So it is very important that you know your BMI. So for a woman who is on the normal weight, that is on your average healthy weight, you probably gain between 6 kg to 12 kg or to 15 kg. Yeah. And for women who are on the low side, that is their BMI is lower, they are on a weight which is lower than their average weight, it is mostly expected that they gain more weight. Like the doctors will even advise you to gain more weight, because to nourish that baby, you need to have some certain amount of weight. Yeah. And let me say this. If you're adding so much weight during pregnancy, it's probably because you're eating, right? Because the weight of the babies is added to the weight of your body as well. And then all the pregnancy tissues like the placenta, the water, their fluid which the babies are inside, all those things add to your weight. So generally you add about 6 to 12 kg. If you're pregnant with maybe twins, you might add more. But if you're not eating a lot of unhealthy food, you won't gain so much weight. Wow. Yeah. A lot of people gain a lot of weight during pregnancy because they are eating so much. If you're not eating, you won't gain weight. But now, you have to eat. But this will take us to another question which makes this eating thing a little bit more clear, right? So if you're on the normal side of your weight, you gain between 6 to 12 to 15 kg. If you are on the slim side, you might gain a lot more weight, because when you're pregnant, maybe your appetite might increase and you might be eating more and you might be resting more. So you obviously gain a lot of weight. Now, for women who have a BMI which is already greater than 30, or they are already out of their healthy weight level, it's expected that you try as much as possible to gain less weight. But since people who are already on the higher side of their weight are normally people who are eating a lot, it will be difficult. Pregnancy will just be a reason for them to eat anyhow. But please try as much as possible to eat healthy during pregnancy so you don't add so much weight, because that weight isn't good for you or your baby. Now, okay, I can see some comments. Lady FOC Body Lawson say most people gain a lot of weight due to what they eat and the activities too. That is very true. Some women eat a lot during pregnancy and they take pregnancy as an excuse to just eat anything that comes their way. And also, most women don't do any exercise. They are just maybe resting the whole time that they are pregnant. You need to do some exercise and try to eat healthy. Your body is not a trash can. So select what you put into it, because whatever you're eating, your baby is eating as well, and you don't want your baby eating any kind of thing, right? So I can see Lady MF White also said, I actually put on 19 kg when I was pregnant. Yes, that is very true. It is very, very possible. Normally, statistically, it is usually said that a woman will gain between 10 to 25 kg during pregnancy or more. There are women who gain 30 kg during pregnancy, which is the reason why I advise mothers to work out after pregnancy. Even if you have to get pregnant again, work out, do some exercise, eat healthy so that you can lose that weight and go to a weight which, if you're adding 15 again or 19 again, it wouldn't be that bad. For example, I added 25 kg while I was pregnant. I was pregnant with twins, yes. After delivery, the next day after, I went down my bed because it was in a story building. I went down and went right down to the consultation to take my weight. And they was looking at me and they were like, where is this woman going to? I was so conscious about my weight because I was 50 when I took in. And by the day I took my weight after giving birth, I was 75 kg. You can't imagine. The babies were already out. So if we add the 2.5 for the two of them, which is 5 kg, it means with them in my tummy, I was actually like 80 kg. I wasn't up to 80 anyways. Because if I was up to 80, that means I gained about 30 kg. But I think I gained 25 kg because after putting to breath, the next day I checked my weight, it was on 75. So I actually gained 25 kg while I was pregnant. And I wasn't even eating. So there are certain circumstances which you must gain weight. You must gain a certain amount of weight when you're pregnant. But if you're eating healthy and you're taking care of yourself, you're doing a little bit of exercise, you might not gain so much. So watch what you eat, do a little bit of exercise. If you're thinking of an exercise to do and you're pregnant, the Nyango WhatsApp group has an exercise for pregnant women. We can just ship it to you, send it through your phone, and you can do it anytime that you want. But try as much as possible to be a little bit active during pregnancy because it's going to help you on that day which you're supposed to push that baby out. So on to question. One more thing which I have to say about question 3. Please, if you're pregnant, you're not eating for 2. No, that's what they'll tell you to do. That a lot of pregnant women will say you're supposed to be eating for 2. No, that baby in your womb is not even half of you. It's not even half a full human being. So why are you eating for 2? Why are you eating for 2? You're not supposed to be eating for 2, please. You're supposed to eat your normal, healthy 3 meals in a day, maybe breakfast, lunch, and supper, and then add maybe a 400-calorie meal, right? Or a 400-calorie snack to just compensate. You're not eating for 2, okay? Because the baby in your womb is not even up to 1 grown human being. So if you're eating for 2, it actually means I'm eating for myself and another myself. Please don't do that. You're going to gain a lot of weight. So on to question 5. What is the best sleeping position during pregnancy? Now, a lot of us just want to sleep on our tummies. Normally, I sleep on my tummy. So during pregnancy, it was hell. There are days which, it was a roller coaster ride for me to sleep. But during your first and second trimester, it is safe. It's probably safe if your tummy is not too big for you to sleep on your back, right? Because a lot of us want to sleep on the back and just relax. During your first and second trimester, it is okay for you to sleep on your back. But as you're getting to your third trimester and your stomach is getting bigger, please, the left side is the best side for you to sleep. Though you might sleep on the right side once in a while, but please try to get used to sleeping on your bed on your left side. Because if you're sleeping on your back, your tummy, since it's so big, is pressing on the vein which supplies blood to your baby, which is not good. it is very, very dangerous to your baby. So you have to try to sleep on your left side. So now, when we are sleeping, we normally turn. There are people who normally turn, and you might sleep on your left side and then realize that you are turned maybe to your back. So what I'll advise is that when you're sleeping, just put a pillow behind you for support, and it will make you more comfortable. So that is what I have for you for question 5. Lady Tyson says best is sleeping sideways. That is true, sleeping on your side like this, not on your back. Okay, so we got that done with. Now on to question 6. Now it's time for that talk. If there are kids around, please send them away. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, question number 6 is, can I have sex during pregnancy? Now, this is simple. Yes, you can. Yes, you can have sex during pregnancy, except if your doctor tells you not to. Maybe you have a weak cervix, or you have certain issues during your pregnancy. And you just can't have sex, and your doctor particularly tells you to stay off it. Yeah, that is the only case when you can have sex during pregnancy. But sex is safe during pregnancy, and sex cannot lead to miscarriage, except you have other underlying issues which your healthcare giver or your gynecologist or your midwives are going to tell you about. But generally, yes, you can have sex during pregnancy. Now, on to question 7. A lot of women worry about this. Oh, somebody said something. I can see Lady Emefwet says, from my second semester, I couldn't sleep on my left. Baby won't let me. I mostly did on my right, and sleeping on my back is almost impossible. Even before I got pregnant, sleeping on my back is a no-no. Yeah, that's true. But some people sleep on their back. Yeah. At times, the baby is just like wild in your tummy. You sleep on your left side, they keep kicking you there. Like, mommy, don't sleep here. Though they are small and they are in there, they keep dictating what you should do. Like, it's crazy. I remember when I was pregnant, time I eat, because I vomited so much. There are some days that I'll really have appetite to eat, and I'll just want to eat and eat and eat. Immediately I eat, and then it's more than what my stomach can take. Oh, I'm going to vomit everything. So that was my baby dictating that, hey, it's time for you to stop eating. So when it gets more, you throw everything out. You either eat small or you lose everything. So I had to control myself because the babies keep dictating what you're doing. Now, therefore, see, but Lawson says, yes, of course, you can have sex except some complications are noticed by your medical personnel. That is very true. Thank you so much. Intelligent says, I'm telling you, these babies have no chill. Indeed, they don't. Okay, on to question number 7. As I said, a lot of women have issues with this. And question number 7 is, will my vagina, my V, stretch after pregnancy? Now, the truth is, the way God created us, if our V had to stretch, as we think, after pregnancy, sorry, if you had to actually stretch after pregnancy, then imagine our mothers who gave birth to like 11 children. What will be happening down there? So please, this one is a no. It won't stretch as you think. While you're giving birth, it's going to stretch. It's going to stretch, and maybe a 10 centimeter head will come out of it. But after that, the vagina has very strong tissues. They go back together, and it gets as it was in the beginning. So don't worry about your V stretching, okay? It's not going to stretch like you think. It's going to go back to normal and stay closed. So now, on to question number 8. Okay, Lydia Hosibod Lawson says it stretches during birth and contracts after that. That is true. Lady Hosibod Lawson is giving us so much, and I thank you so much for that. I'm enjoying your comments. God made a woman's body so magical that it goes back to the way it was, like nothing ever happened. That is very true. God is a wonderful God. Like, he thought about everything before creating. Just imagine that, like, it had to be stretching if it actually was stretching. Woohoo! That's not a good thing to think about anyways. But let's go on to question number 8. Does teen pregnancy differ from adult pregnancy? Physically and developmentally, not really, but emotionally and stress-wise, yes. Why? Because teen pregnancies are usually pregnancies that are unwanted and unexpected. So this makes it in a way that the teenager is probably dealing with school, dealing with the parents, not accepting the fact that she's pregnant, dealing with maybe a guy who has refused the pregnancy. So there's usually a lot of stress um, um, going along with a teen mother, which is why most times they'll be put under a lot of supervision. They'll be taken care of in a very special way. And also there are certain conditions like this last condition we talked about, this last birth defect we talked about on our birth defect series. We talked about it. I've forgotten the name. Can anyone remember the last birth defect we talked about? It's mostly, is it the last? I don't think it's the last. But if you can remember the birth defects we talked about, there is one which is mostly associated with um with teen moms. That is gastroschisis. Yes, gastroschisis is mostly it mostly happens with teen moms. So teen pregnancy physically and developmentally is not different from adult pregnancy, but environmentally and maybe stress-wise, it is, because most teen mothers are not ready to get pregnant. So let's go to question number 9. Our mothers usually tell us this one, and everybody looks at you like you're crazy when you do this one. Question number 9 is, can I wear heels while pregnant? And the answer is, if you're someone who always wears heels and you are used to wearing your heels and you can walk safely on your heels, then yes, you can wear heels during pregnancy. But if you're someone who is not so used to wearing heels, please don't start wearing them during pregnancy because you might trip and fall. Yeah. So if you are someone who is not used to wearing heels, please don't wear heels during pregnancy, because you falling is not a good thing while pregnant. So that is the main reason why sometimes they say you shouldn't wear heels during pregnancy, because of the safety of your baby. But if you're comfortable wearing your heels and you're someone who really loves wearing your heels and you know how to walk on them, then you can wear your heels. But for the safety of your child and to eliminate any dangers for the child, you can just eliminate the heels if need be. Lydia Fossey Bodlosin is sending an answer to question 8, and she says, yes, it differs in the sense that an adult have more experience in dealing with certain issues of life. Yeah, that is very, very true. Like I said, physically, developmentally, no, but emotionally, stress-wise, experience-wise, an adult has more experience. So now, on to question 10. I was supposed to be ending after question 10, but I discovered 5 more questions while I was doing my search, which, yeah, I think we should also know about them. Lydia Fossey Bodlosin is giving us hard in the comment section. Like her comments are so wonderful. Thank you so much. She's actually a very, very experienced mom. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Now on to question number 10. Should I attend antenatal classes while pregnant, and when do I need to start antenatal classes? First, antenatal classes are very, very important. Some people shy away from it because of the time you're going to go sit there and you're listening to some people. And we usually feel like our moms mostly did not attend antenatal classes and they gave birth to us and they were fine. But the days of our moms are not today. Today, we need a lot of care when we are dealing with pregnancy. We need to know a lot, which is why we need to attend antenatal classes. Now, when do you need to start antenatal classes? The latest time you should start your antenatal classes is 8 weeks. Between 8 to 10 weeks, you should have started antenatal classes. This is because your baby develops a lot of its organs in those early weeks of pregnancy, like the spine is developed during those early weeks of pregnancy, and you have to start taking prenatal vitamins, right? So if you've not started your antenatal classes, you won't know the prenatal vitamins to take. And there are lots of tests which have to be done on you during those first week of pregnancy, which are very, very important. So you need to go for your antenatal classes And also, you need to start as early as possible to eradicate some birth defects and other things and other complications which might come up. So you need to start your antenatal classes as soon as possible. Between 8 to 10 weeks is the latest time which you should start. Okay, I hope I answered that question for you. Lady Emefuetazi song says, very important to attend ANC. That is very true. ANC, they like we cannot overemphasize how important they are. Though in our system, they don't have, like, for example, you go to there and you meet this midwife, the next care that you go for, you meet another midwife. So it's very complicated. I really wish we had a system where maybe you can book to see a particular midwife every time that you go. That would be a very good improvement on our medical care for pregnant women, because sometimes you need that. Instead of a case where you go today, you meet wife, and you go tomorrow, you meet another one who hasn't understood your situation and they don't really know how to handle you. Maybe if they could be a way that a pregnant lady could have a particular midwife who is always there for her checks, then it will be better. For me, the first midwife who attended to me was the one who caught my babies. And I was so lucky and happy that I had her there, because she was just so wonderful. This is a shout out to Lady Aisha. Thank you so much for all you do for mothers. And thank you so much for all you did for me. Now, on to question number 11. Do I need a birth plan? Now, the answer is yes. Why? Because in our society, like I said before, that it will be really nice to have a system where a midwife could attend to a pregnant woman every time that she comes, so that they understand your situation better. So because you won't meet a particular midwife all the time, or because the doctor who might have consulted you when you came for your first visit might not be the same doctor who will be there on the day you gave birth, you need a birth plan, so that immediately you get to the hospital and maybe you're in labor, you can tell your doctor or whoever is there who hasn't understood your situation that this is what my doctor prescribed for me, right? So that they are not just confused and then they are trying to go through all your books to try to understand what goes on. So you definitely need a birth plan to know if you're going to be able to give birth normally, that is vaginally, or you're going to have a CS, right? So you need a birth plan. Your doctors need to explain that to you. Ask questions if they don't tell you, because in our medical system, if you don't ask questions, they won't tell you anything. So try as much as possible to ask as many questions as possible to your doctor, or ask me, right? Ask me. What I cannot answer, I'll tell you, or I'll refer you to our midwife who is working with us on the Nyango WhatsApp group. Right? So just ask questions. Sometimes the midwives will not have the time to answer your questions because there are so many women in the antenatal classes, but ask questions as much as you can. Go online and do some research, because pregnancy is very, very delicate, right? So you need to know as much as you can to even be confident enough to push that baby on that day. So on to question number 12. Question number 12. Do most women give birth on their due date? This is one thing that causes a lot of worry. I remember recently I had a lady on the Nyango WhatsApp group. She was so afraid. It was her first baby, and she was so scared. The whole time when we were praying on the group, she would tell us, please pray for me for fear. I'm so afraid of that day. I'm so afraid. I don't want to give birth through a CS. But let me tell you something. And when it was her due date, when it got to her due date, she was already very scared that why has she not got into labor? She was at 38 weeks and she was already very, very worried. Now, one thing which I always ask is, why do they always refer to pregnancy as a 9 months journey? Pregnancy isn't actually a 9 months journey. 9 months is probably four times 9, that is 36. 9 months, actually 36 weeks. But a woman is expected to give birth between 40 to 42 weeks. That's 10 months plus. So why do they say pregnancy is a 9 months journey? I don't know why. I'm going to do some research and know why. So most women don't give birth on their due date. Just 4% of women, statistically, from some research done, give birth on their due date. Most women will either give birth at 40 weeks or 41 weeks. The only time you should get worried if you're pregnant and you haven't started having labor is at 42 weeks, right? Because at 40 weeks, 41 weeks, if you're not yet getting labor, this is the time when it's usually induced. But if you get to 42 weeks and you've not gotten labor and you're not getting any signs of labor, then it's getting pretty risky. This is when they must induce and do everything that they can for your baby to come out. But there are women who have been pregnant for much longer. So women mostly don't give birth on their due date because the due date is usually 2 weeks early or 2 weeks late. So if you have reached your due date and you've not yet given birth, don't get too worried. Wait for 40 weeks to 42 weeks. That is when you can actually start getting worried, okay? But all in all, you're going to be fine. Now, on to question number 13. How long will labor last? I can see Lady Giselle Itala. Thank you so much for joining. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lady Tazisong says it's safer calculating in weeks. 40 weeks is most times the minimum duration. Yes, calculating in weeks, 40 weeks, assuming that every month has four weeks, that's 10 months, not 9 months. So I don't really know why. They say pregnancy is a 9 months thing. A due date, I like to say the due date is not expiring dates. So please don't start struggling to push that baby out because it's due date, okay? Your due date is usually just estimated considering your last menstruation that you saw. So it can be wrong, it can be right, it can be 2 weeks early, it can be 2 weeks late. I can see some really interesting comments. Lady Fomin says, Lady Larissa, the due date is an estimate. In my option for me. It had 2 different dates and the baby didn't come on any of them. Yes, that's why I'm saying that just 4% of women actually even give birth on their due date. The due date is not an expiring date. So please, if your baby doesn't come on the due date, don't get worried. Wow, this is so nice. Lady Giselle says, I usually give birth to my children 1 day before my due date. That's beautiful. Okay, now on to question number 13 that I was talking about. How long will labor last? Now, we're not talking about inactive labor here. I asked this question once on the Nyango WhatsApp group that normal labor statistically is supposed to last between 8 to 12 hours. Most times it lasts for that long even during the first pregnancy. So active labor, which is when you are having the contractions every 3 minutes, that is active labor. Anything before then, when you're having the contractions far apart from each other, that is not active labor. But when you get into active labor, the highest time you can be in active labor statistically in a majority of women is 8 to 12 hours. So labor usually lasts, active labor usually lasts 8 to 12 hours. And it is very important for us to know that labor in the first pregnancy usually lasts much longer than the second or subsequent, pregnancies. And hey, we have to understand something. Labor is called labor because it's work. It's not going to be very easy. So prepare your mind for it. And you're going to go well with it. So that was question number 13. Okay, that was question number 13. And surprisingly, it's the last. I thought I had 5 more questions, but it's showing that I had just 3 more questions. So also, it is very important for us to know that you have to prepare for labor. You have to prepare for labor. Anything that you prepare for, you become more confident to handle it, and it becomes easy. And the amount of time that your labor will last will depend on the team you have around you, the people you have around you. If you have very experienced midwives or gynecologists around you, you probably have an easy labor because they'll tell you what to do. Now, if you have people who are not so experienced around you, your labor might be slightly more difficult. And also, apart from the team, your preparation helps a lot with how long your labor will last. If you're well prepared and you know what to do, then you would labor for a shorter time and you'll give birth. So just do some research, find out what you have to do, and get to know more about pregnancy and labor. This month, we're talking all about pregnancy. So if you want to know more about it, stay here with us every Friday, 6 p.m. I'm going to try as much as possible to be here. Some days are not just easy, but I pledge to you that I'm going to be here every Friday. Okay, so that is it about questions about pregnancy. 14 or 13 common questions about pregnancy. Do you have any other questions about pregnancy? Please drop them. Let's answer them. Okay, if you have any more questions. While we are thinking of the questions and I'm waiting for your questions, let me read the comment section. Our comment section is very busy today and I really like it. Please, ladies, just keep being around. You really keep me company and I'm very happy when we're learning together. It's just a peaceful thing. Okay, Lady Giselle, yeah, I read Lady Giselle's comment earlier. Lady Tazisong says, I was made to understand by a nurse that when pregnancy crosses 40 weeks towards 41 and 42 weeks, the amniotic fluid starts reducing. I don't know how much that is true, but I believe that's why most women get scared. So I'm just going to jot that down and do more research about it. And on our next live session, which is next Friday, I'll talk about this particular question. So let me put it down and star it very mightily so that I won't forget it and I'll do some research about it and then give you a very clear answer about it by our next live session. It's a pregnancy question. Here, we're answering all pregnancy questions and then learning everything about pregnancy this month, these 4 weeks. So, Lady Afosibod Lawson says, I labored for my first child for 2 days. I'm sure this particular labor you're talking about involves inactive and active labor. Labor actually has 3 stages, if I'm not mistaken. The lantern stage, it actually has 3 stages. I cannot really remember, but there's a lantern, which is the early stage, there's the active stage. I've forgotten the stage which is in the middle. But active labor, when you've gotten to that point where you're having contractions 3 minutes apart, then your labor cannot last up to 2 days. So Lady Tazisong says, I labored for 6 hours. Surprisingly, the level of pain I had prepared myself psychologically for wasn't really what I got. It was lesser, sorry. It's always good to prepare psychologically for labor. That is very, very true. I think we have a post on Inyango on how to prepare for labor. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we do have a post on how to prepare for labor. So it is very, very important, extremely important for you to prepare psychologically. Because if you prepare your mind that, okay, I'm going to face labor and it's going to be hard, it is hard work, by the time it comes, you're so prepared that you don't feel as much pain as people maybe will say that labor is painful. So I can't see any questions. I'm trying to leave here as fast as possible. This video is already getting so long. So I'm going to be announcing now the prize winners for our Inyango Moms quiz. Thank God this week we had a sponsor who sponsored us with some very beautiful things. Baby is crying. I got to run. So for the first prize winner, Lady Tambe Dockers is the one who won the first prize winner. She has been so consistent, and I think this is the first time she's winning the first prize. That was a beautiful answer right there, and it really shows that we are really learning, and I'm really proud of you ladies. The second prize winner is Lady Njobe Delbis. It's her first time of participating on the quiz, and she hit it right there and got the right answer. She is going away with the second prize. Now, the third prize winner is Lady Fanny Doe. That's her name on Facebook. So, congratulations to all our winners. You'll be getting your prizes latest next week, Saturday. All your prizes would have reached you, depending on when you go to collect it anyways, because it's going to reach somewhere which is close to you and you have to go and collect it. So that was it for our common questions on pregnancy. Please, if you've not shared the video, please try to share. It helps us so much and it's not going to cost you anything, right? So please just share, leave a like, leave a comment, leave anything you can leave. I'm so happy for all the ladies who were around today. And I want to say a very, very big thank you. And let me just acknowledge the people who were around. I really have to run. I'm hearing my baby crying. Thank you so much, Lady Giselle Itala, for joining. Lady Emefo Tazi Song, thank you for joining. Lady Efosi Body Lawson, thank you for joining. Lady Mani Fomin, thank you for joining. Lady Jackie Enanga, thank you so much for joining. Who else? Yeah, I think that was everybody. Excuse me. I think that was everybody. If I didn't call you, I'm sorry. But I think that everybody I see in the comment section, that's how I acknowledge the people who are here. Lady Giselle Italia, thank you so much for joining. Thank you all so much for joining. I really have to run right now. Let's keep raising healthy, wealthy, and exemplary mothers. Please share the live session so that other mothers can see this. Probably they have a question which has been answered here and they'll learn something. Thank you so much for joining. And you can realize that I'm already shaky. Thank you so much for joining and do have a beautiful evening. It will be bye-bye from me. I'm sorry I can't take your questions. If you have questions, just jot them down on our next live session. I'm going to answer them. Okay? Do have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye.